Hi, everyone, and welcome to my live. I actually was on mute, so I apologize, but welcome in. This is day 33 of 90, and I am so excited. I had extended this challenge from 30 to 60 to now 90 days. That first 30 just flew by, and I said, you know what? Let me continue. And this is going to usher me right into the month of June, which is my Sweet 16. I've been on YouTube for 16 years. I've been not a content creator for 16 years, but I have been on YouTube with an account. And I really didn't start taking putting up content seriously until about probably about 5 years ago. And even then, it wasn't really anything more than leaving my footprint, putting up information for my legacy, for my future's future. So I'm excited. I see Dr. Fish is here. Thank you. Yes, as you come in or as you experience this particular live and you find something that you like, be sure to hit the like button. The thumbs up. I appreciate that. And Joshua Gabriel, welcome in. Great to see you. Hope all is well for both of you. I appreciate your support. So, again, today is day 33, and I just wanted to come on here and have a little fun for Friday. And so, we are going to do Guess Who, looking at, trying to figure out, I want you to guess who are the iconic R&B hits by. So, I see Slasher Chick. Yes, happy Friday. She's in the building, and she's also doing the challenge. She's on day 29, I believe, of 90. And I really encourage you all to check her out. If you are trying to find out how to navigate Canva or any of these AI platforms, she does great tutorials on how to do it. I love seeing this many people, what, not 500, checking out this video. Thank you for coming in and sharing your love. So I wanted to do something fun. I just put this together, and it is Guess Who, and I'm going to read some of the lyrics, and you're going to guess who the R&B singer is. And these are some hits that these singers had, and just want you to guess what their names are, because it might be easy for some of you, but for some it may not. And I've gone through some time. So some of the hits happened in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and up to the current. So we will see. You are on day 30. That is exciting. Congratulations. That is awesome. I know, didn't that, well, for me, I know the first 30 days went so fast. Do you feel that they went fast for you too? So, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Charlotte had a tragedy um, on both sides, and that's the way I see it. With at the beginning of the week, with when four law enforcement officers, one was a Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer, and the other three were part of another. Two were correctional officers, and one was I want to say, a DEA agent, maybe. And they went to a it was reported that there was a felon with arms, with guns, and I'm not exactly sure how it rolled out. All I do know is how it ended, and it ended with four of those four getting killed, as well as the felon in his home. So shots were fired from both sides, and lives were lost. And so today was the procession for the Charlotte police officer, and I knew about it, but I forgot that it was today, and so I got kind of caught in it, and it was it was very deep, you know. I get very emotional, and I was saying to myself, okay, like, Sherry, calm down. This is definitely a sad moment, but you don't know him, so it's okay. But the procession was so well attended, and it was just so deep, and it just, tears started to flow. But it wasn't just flowing for that officer. I was crying for everyone that was involved on both sides, because there's going to be an empty seat at the dinner table. There's going to be no more coming in through the front door to greet loved ones. Um, there's no more voice, unless there's a recording, but no more in-person meetings and having good times. And so I was crying and I was praying. I was praying for the safety of my husband, my children, praying for the safety of the felon that was killed, for his family, praying for the safety of the police officer and the other law enforcement agents that were killed, for their families, and just for the citizens, our country, just for everyone. Just I was just very prayerful, because this has been going on since the beginning of time. But then I also started to think, I'm crying for both sides, but do other people cry and mourn for our side? And, that became a very deep thought for me. And it still has me thinking and wondering. And I'm hopeful that I'll be able to have that conversation with someone. Um, I brought it up a little bit in a meeting, a virtual meeting that I had today. And it was interesting because a person responded, and I could tell she had no idea what I meant by that. So, real conversations need to be had. And, this is a fun Friday. So, I'm not going to have that type of conversation here today, but I do want to put it out there in the atmosphere for you to think about and consider. Our people, my people, are very empathetic, resilient, compassionate, forgiving, loving. We are a lot of things, and we're not just one thing like some people would love to believe us to be, and we are so not that. And I just wish that people would take a moment and realize that. Before I get into the Guess Who game, I do want to say one thing. Years ago, before COVID, there was a racial equality kind of training, and it was a few days during the week, all day, and it was about 50 plus people there, majority white and black, a couple of Hispanics, but most were white and black. And I say white and black because that's how they wanted us to refer ourselves to be, because we could be Caribbean, we could be African, Caribbean, they are African, they could be Italian, they could be Irish, but they just wanted us to use white and black. And so the last day, the last exercise that they had us do, and they had many exercises. Oh, but you know what? One exercise that they had us do, we broke into small groups, and it was myself, it was a white woman, a white cop, um, a black man, and a black man. It was four of us. And we were talking about our experience with the cops and, like our children. For some reason, it got to like how it is for our children. And it was interesting because the white woman was like, "Oh, we love the cops. When they come into our neighborhood, my son runs up to the car and they always give him a lollipop or a little trinket, like a McDonald Happy Meal type toy, or, and he's always so happy to see them." And I said, and I have a son, and at that time, my son he might have just graduated high school and was in college. Yes. And so I said, especially growing up, even living in nice areas, cops come around. Oh, my son is being ushered inside for safety. I would never have him run up to a cop car. That would make me terrified. And she couldn't understand. Like, she never considered that. She never thought of that. Like, really? She was in disbelief. And I had to explain to her, why. And at that time, I want to say it was probably 2 years after Trayvon Martin. And, I explained, like why my emotions were like that. And I felt bad that my emotions were like that because I know that my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and grandmothers before them had those same feelings. And the fact that it's the 21st century and I still have those feelings is not good. So, that was one thing that came out. But then the last day, the last exercise, the facilitator wanted us to write down everything that we loved about being black or white. So if you're black, what do you love about being black? If you're white, what do you love about being white? And so he gave us a few minutes to write it out. And again, it was about 50 of us in there. And I want to say it was half and half, right? And he said, and if you are Latino or Hispanic, pick a side, you know, so that when you share out, it'll be from that perspective. And so everyone started writing down, and then he said, okay, we're going to do a wraparound. Everyone is going to share everything you wrote down. And when I tell you, when it was interesting, and people were sitting in different groups, so it might be four or five black people, then a white person, maybe four or five white people, then a black person. So it wasn't just every other. It was groups, and then it was one or two, and then it was groups again. And so the black people were saying, oh, I love my culture, my food, the texture of my hair, our swag, gatherings with family. I love to dance. I love our beat, our rhythm. I love just having a good time. I love our laughter, our comedy. I mean, it was everything. And everyone was like, yeah, all the black people were agreeing every time someone said something because everybody has very similar things on their paper. So whenever someone started to read, we'd be like, yeah, 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 that's so right, that's right. They might say, I love being black because of the sweet potato pie, because of the soul food, because of whatever. It was like all these things. And when the white people would share out, they would say things like, I love my privilege. Um, I could That's really the only thing I could remember. They would have very few things down, but privilege I do remember being very prevalent amongst all of them in terms of something that they loved about being white. And at some point, the white people stopped it and was like, wait a minute, I love my family too. I love my food. I love to have a good time with my family and go to family reunions and stuff like that. You didn't tell us that we could write all that. And the facility, it was like four facilitators, and they all looked at each other and just kind of chuckled, and they said, it's amazing to us, no matter where we go in this country, that's always the same response. They said, no matter where we go, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, wherever we go, that's always the same response. And it's amazing to us because you all got the same directions at the same time. No one asked for clarification. As soon as you received the directions, you all started writing. So the fact that you didn't know you could write that about what you love about yourself is just amazing. Like, what? And it made me realize, we are dynamic. We really are. So I just wanted to share that. And I wish I could remember exactly the name of that workshop because they do travel all over the country and hold it. And it's about four or five facilitators that do that. Um, yeah, safety was one that was one as well. Yeah, privilege and safety. But you love that about yourself. And it's funny that none of us, none of the black people put that down, but we still were able to find the joy of life anyway, and that was the beauty of it. And the fact that because we could find that joy in our lives, and that's why at some point one of the white people stopped it, like, wait, no, I like that too, hold on, but they didn't think to put it down. So it was interesting. But I just wanted to share that part real quick. All right, so now we're going to go into the guess who, and it's an R&B guessing game. So I'm going to say a statement. I'm going to have a couple of the albums or the songs, the popular songs from these R&B artists, and you have to guess who is this R&B artist. When you guess, just put the name in the chat, and we will see how it rolls out. So let's see. So the first statement, all right, known for iconic hits like Emotions, Fantasy, and We Belong Together. Who is this R&B singer? Known for iconic hits like Emotions, Fantasy, and We Belong Together. Who is the R&B singer? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Yes, Slasher Chick guessed it. It is wait, Myra Carey. I always say her name wrong. Myra. And I have a great aunt, and she lived to be 100, and it was such a beautiful thing because all my children got to know her. And when in elementary school, they'll have 100-day celebration of school, and they always want the kids to bring in something, 100 of something. They have to create some kind of craft or whatever. And that year, when my great aunt turned 100, I remember my daughter, my youngest, was in first grade, and she had a picture with my aunt. It was just because we were at a family reunion, and my daughter at the time was the youngest in the family, and that aunt was the oldest. So they took a picture together. She was sitting on her lap, and my aunt looked great. I mean, oh my goodness. And so I said, take this picture. You're going to take this picture in for your 100-day celebration. And she did. And they were just like, wow. But my aunt, we called her Aunt Shug, but her real name was my Mariah. Mariah Carey. It wasn't my Mariah Carey, but her first name was Mariah. All right. Very good. And I also made it into a banner. Let's see how that shows up. Yep. That was the first one. All right. So let's look at the second one. The second statement. His songs like You Got It Bad, Yeah, and OMG are very recognizable. Who is the R&B singer? His songs like You Got It Bad, Yeah, and OMG are very recognizable. Who is that? Oh, all right. All right. Slasher Chick, you think this is going to be easy. Very good. It is Usher. Yes. All right. And thank you. Are you going to Vegas to see him? I think he's going to be in Charlotte on my birthday, actually, October 22nd. All right. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Yes. Oh, in Atlanta? Okay. Are you going to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium to see him? And if so, have you ever been to that stadium? All right. If you come to Charlotte, I might see you. So if you come, let me know so that we can connect. I know I went to see New Edition. It was New Edition, Tank, um, Guy, and Keith Sweat. And oh my goodness, that concert was everything. And I saw one of my line sisters there. She had flown in from Pittsburgh, and we ended up hanging out. I was like, girl, you should have told me. Yes. Okay. That is a beautiful stadium. Beautiful. I want to see him in Vegas if I could. I love the stadium in Vegas. It's really nice. Yes, New Edition was my first concert too. Let me think. Was it? It was. I had a friend, and she was an only child, and her mom and dad, she was her mother's only child, and her parents were divorced. And her mother was really cool, and she would do everything like with us and for her daughter. Whereas, my parents were young when they had me, but they were old compared to other people's parents because they had my brothers 8 and 9 years before me at a younger age. And then I came along and they were like in their late 20s, early 30s, but it just seemed like they were so much older. But this mother, she used to take us to those concerts, New Edition concerts, and had no problems with it. I think low key looking back, because that's kind of how I am. She probably was having a good time, but a good time as well. But I really appreciated that, and I felt like her mother had a lot more time to do those things more than my mom. Although my mother did a lot with me, but things like that, she kind of left it to that mother to do. So I went to every single New Edition concert from when they started back in like '84 and even up through college. And this one that I went to in Charlotte was probably my second or third one that I had seen them perform since graduating from college. Yes. I know it. I know you did. And so my brother, one of my oldest brother, he used to take me to concerts, but he would take me to like Budweiser Superfest, which was so dope back in the day. And then my husband and I used to always go to concerts, especially when we lived in St. Louis. We saw Al Green. Al Green gave me a rose, a rose. That was so wild. We saw Brian McKnight was great in concert. One of the people that I'm going to talk about or see if you can guess, we saw him in concert, and it was such an intimate setting. It was in New York, and it was phenomenal. But I saw R. Kelly in concert when he first came out, and I was so mad. I knew he was going to take over Guy because he just reminded me so much of Aaron Hall. But concerts are fun. A lot of people don't really get into them. I also went to because it's the hip hop's 50th anniversary year, and or last year was, I think. And I went to the LL Cool J concert that was here in Charlotte, and that was really, really good too. I enjoyed it. I wish I would have done more with the hip hop last year. Yes, a rose. And my husband even was like, "Yo, Al Green gave my wife a rose." It was crazy. Oh my goodness. Hmm. I do too. I really enjoy them. Especially, for me, I mean, I'll sit wherever, but I really do like to be kind of close to the stage where you can really see them and they can see you, and you kind of get that connection a little bit like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, yeah. But Brian McKnight was really good. But it was so wild. After his concert, we went to the after party, and he looked like he didn't look like he does on stage. He looked real hip hop, and it was crazy. That was in St. Louis also, and I was surprised that was even him. The way that he had like a swag, like a kind of like a bob back and forth. I don't know. It was interesting. Um, yeah. But I definitely know that concerts nowadays, you're much further, it's not as intimate of a setting as it used to be back in the day. And I don't even mean being like up on the stage, but I just feel like everything was more accessible or something, back in the day. I even remember, what's his name? Big Daddy Kane came to my homecoming my senior year. And one of my girlfriends from back home used to date him. And she couldn't, I don't know if she couldn't get in or what, but somehow she got a message to me, and she was just like, "Tell Kane that I'm in the lobby." And I just went right up to the stage, and he was performing. And I just was like, I don't know how I got his attention, tugged on his leg. I don't know. But I was like, got his attention, and he looked down, and I was like, such and such says she's in the lobby. He was like, all right. So that was kind of crazy, but it used to be like that where you could have easy access to performers, but now they have so many crazy people, you can never really get too close to them. So I did go to the Comedy Zone here in Charlotte, and I saw Adele Givens perform. This was not too long ago. This was in September, actually. And I know that Lunel was coming to perform, but I waited too late to get tickets because I also really, really love comedy shows. I really do. Yeah, you definitely could back in the day. You could. All right, let's look at the third one. Her solo hits Crazy in Love, Single Ladies, and Check on It are extremely popular. Who is this R&B singer? Her solo hits Crazy in Love, Single Ladies, and Check on It are extremely popular. Who is this R&B singer? Yes, you are right. Ding ding ding. You are right. It is Beyonce. And I know that that would be an easy one. I mean, most of her songs are hits. And Beyonce is a hit or miss kind of artist. People either really like her or not at all. And I guess that's the best kind of fan base to have. You know that people either love you or they hate you. But let me tell you, my girls wanted to go to her concert, not the one that just, they went to this one too that she just had this past year, but it was the one before that. What was one? It wasn't, it was, I forget what it was called, but it was they got tickets for Atlanta, and my husband got them 3 tickets, and one was supposed to be for me, but I didn't want to go. I like her, but I don't love her. And I was like, how much more could she do on stage than what I see in videos or hear her? I just can't. I could not imagine her show being anything spectacular. Don't ask me why, but I just didn't think so. And so I was like, I'll take y'all though, but I'll just hang out. I have a lot of friends in Atlanta, so I'll just kind of hang out and do it like that. I see Pandy's here. Candy and Moore's in the building. Hello, hello. How are you? How are you? It's good to see you. And so I was, I saw everyone kind of making their way into the concert, and my daughters was like, "You sure you don't want to come in?" And I said, "I'll come in for a little bit. Let me see what's going on." And we went in, and it was at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That wasn't my first time going there, but I do enjoy that stadium. And when we got into the concert, first of all, we had amazing seats. But second of all, I think I enjoyed that concert more than my daughters did. I never sat down. I was whipping my hair back and forth. I was jumping. I was sweating. I had the best time. Oh my goodness. My voice, I lost my voice. I had so much fun at that concert. And I said, I will never say no to a Beyonce concert again. However, I did say no to the Renaissance one because it was just too much preparation. My girls were, getting their fits together. And I just want to kind of go as I am sometimes. And they, ordering the cowboy hat and the boots and all that. And I was like, I'm not buying into that. And I'm glad I didn't because I saw the movie, when it came out. So same difference a little bit, not really, but I did have a good time in the movies too. Listen, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, when I do things, I'm very present. And if it's a good time to be had, I'm gonna have it. And no matter what the venue or whatever. And so in the movies, I had a good time. I had a really good time. All right, the next one. So Pandy, we are we are doing Guess Who, and I'm just going to make a statement. I'm going to say a couple of the songs from a particular artist, and you have to guess who the artist is. So far, Slasher Chick has been doing amazing. She knows her music. And I appreciate the 500 people that are here watching this video live as well as in the replay. So thank you for checking me out. I appreciate it. So the next one is songs like What's Going On and Mercy, Mercy Me. We're talking about things we still have challenges with today. Who is the R&B artist? Songs like What's Going On and Mercy, Mercy Me. We're talking about things we still have challenges with today. Yes, Marvin Gaye. Yeah. All right. So you all over the place with it. It's not just recent. I like that. Yep, it's Marvin Gaye. Yes. And I'm telling you, that is definitely a voice that was gone too soon. Could you imagine the other songs that are still in him that are now at the cemetery? And that's why they say, the cemetery has some of the most beautiful, impactful songs, some of the most, stories that could have been blockbuster books and movies, just a wealth of of creatives in the cemetery that their work just did not come out. We did get a taste of Marvin Gaye, but not, I don't think, anything that could have been, because definitely too soon, too soon. And we have quite a few R&B artists like that gone too soon. All right. I remember, what's that song? Oh, oh my goodness. Wait, wait, wait. What is that song that, because I used to sing and dance to it. And as a child, sometimes you don't even know what you're saying. And what's that song where he talks about oh, wait, 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 wait. I can hear the beat. Wait. I want to go out and party and dance for a while. You know that song? Dun, dun, dun. I'm no, I'm too nerve. Let me not even go there. Sorry. You know that song that Marvin Gaye says he was singing, and I got myself together to really, yeah, give it up. Okay. You got that because of the way I was singing it, right? That's how you were able to recognize it. Got to give it up. All right. I used to love that song when I was little. Loved it. And so in our basement in my home was finished, and we used to have parties there. My brothers used to DJ and have parties. When family came over, we would have music and dancing and everything. And the song was playing, and I was dancing to it. Ooh wee! I think I might have been in third or fourth grade. My mother came down and basically, like, if she could have, she would have scratched that record all the way up. She was like, "I don't ever want to see you dancing to this song again." And I already found out earlier, like, don't question my mother. So I just said okay, and I never said, like, why was, nowadays, oh yeah, kids are gonna ask why. But I just remember being like, wow, she don't want me to sing that song. And I never, like, at that age, you just saying the words, you don't really put them together, you don't have that kind of experience. But my mother, being a grown woman, she probably was like, hold on, not my 8, 9 year old. No, don't you ever. Right. Just say yes, ma'am, and keep it moving. Hey, TWP Popcorn, what's popping with you? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I was like, all right. And I never, especially, I probably, it probably took me, I might have been in high school or out of high school the next time I really got into it. And then that's when I started listening to the words, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. I see. All right. So number 6, she asked, how will I know? And turned around to say, I will always love you. Who is that R&B singer? And TWP Popcorn, we are doing a Guess Who trivia for R&B. So I'm saying a statement and saying a couple of the titles of songs, and you have to guess who the R&B artist is. And so far, Slasher Chick has been getting them all. Yes, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston is the artist. And that's another one, a beautiful voice and just life happening. And that's just really an indication of, you really have to take care of yourself. And I can only imagine the pressures, especially now with so many other things coming out with music producers and artists and such, the pressures that they must have encountered, and just to cope, I suppose. But that has been even for decades. Think about in the 50s and the 60s, and the drugs that they used back then. And I don't know how we can have those conversations, and we just have to. That's all there is to it, about the importance of not doing those things, because it can ruin your life for sure. I see everyone is speaking. Thank you so much. All right, the next one. She said, everything is everything. Ready or not, and doo wop that thing. Who is this R&B artist? She said, everything is everything. Ready or not, and doo wop that thing. Who is this artist? Yes, Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is the artist. And, you know, Lauren is still with us, but good gracious, remember that first album that she had? I want to say it was her first solo album because she always was with the Fugees. Oh, okay. TWP was right behind you with it. Um, and so y'all probably about the same time getting it out there. Thank y'all. And she had done so well and won so many awards with that first solo album. And then when I remember a lot of other singers wanted her to write for them and wanted to collaborate with her. And I could tell by the way she agreed that that kind of success, she wasn't ready for it. And it was because the way that, she was just kind of like, okay, I think it was overwhelming, maybe, that these major singers that have had very established careers were reaching out to her and telling her live and in public, listen, girl, I want you to work with me on my next project. And yeah, her only solo album, only. Um, and then after that, I mean, cause that album, every single song was a hit. Every song, it's rare to have an album that song after song, you definitely, you're not trying to fast forward, rewind, none of that. You just want to hear it all. And then when she started to go on tour later on, she would okay, thank you. She would be late for concerts or not show up at all sometimes. So her professionalism, and that's the thing. A lot of times people blame other situations. Oh, this was a barrier. This was a challenge, a situation. But sometimes it can be, you are in your own way. And I think that was definitely what was the problem with that. Okay. Hello, Cancel Woman Beater. Thank you for, oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that support. I appreciate you for stopping through, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you. Yes, it's still a hit. Her songs still are relevant. They still sound good. Those are evergreen songs. They will stand the test of time for sure. So I just hope, as people, especially creatives for some reason, but anyone in business, it could be any kind of business. And being a creative artist, that's a business. You have contracts, you need professionals, you need a team, a supportive team, not just your around the way team, but you need a team of professionals that have a track record of doing things professionally, not just for you, but for others, picking wisely, especially if you are new to it. A lot of times, people that are new to whatever their craft is, they'll get their best friend that's trying to get on too to be their manager or whatever. Oh yeah, yeah, I could do that for sure. But it might not be that person. A lot of times it's best to have a manager that you have really nothing but money in common with. Someone that's just about making you more money, making your money make more money, and not trying to hang out with you to spend your money. So just a lot of different things people need to consider. All right, so the next one, number 8, is he was bold to say, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Living for the City and Superstition. Who is this R&B singer? He was bold to say, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Living for the City and Superstition. Who is this R&B singer? Yes. Stevie Wonder. Hmm. And, for my father daughter dance at my wedding, I had them play My Sharia Moore because Stevie wrote that song for his daughter. And I just really liked that song. So there was this woman, this young woman. She was old, a little bit older than me. I want to say maybe Kim is probably about 4 or 5 years older than me. And she lived in a town next to mine, but we went to the same church and we sang on the same choir, although I kind of was like kicked on, brought back in because my mother was an amazing singer and they thought I would be too, and I wasn't. And so, sometimes when that happens, they tell you like the usher board's always looking for assistance. But at any rate, I did, I got older and I was like, let me try to sing it again. And I was on the it was like the teenager choir. And for me, it was more social than anything because I don't, it was just, I'm just a really, in real life, I'm very, very social and I enjoy people. I just enjoy people. And so I just like to be in the mix, And so I'm in the choir. And so there's this woman, this young girl. Well, she was older than me, but she was in high school and she sang like one of the most sweetest birds you could ever imagine singing. Like her voice was so pure and angelic and just so beautiful, her voice. And she graduated from college. I'm not sure if she went to high school, but I do know the next time I saw her, like when she was a young adult, she was dating Stevie Wonder, and they actually dated for a very long time. I'm always so surprised when they do documentaries on his life that she's not part of it, because initially what happened, she was his backup singer and did that for a long time, and then they started to date. And I think they got engaged as well. And they were together for years, years and years. And so my oldest brother, as an adult, he sang in the choir, and my church, and I know a lot of churches still do this, a watch night service on New Year's Eve. And my church would be a big deal. People would bring back in the we would bring a dish and have like a potluck kind of thing. It would be so much food at the end. And the choir, they would have a combined choir. So a lot of different choirs would get together and sing. My brother, he would always sing. And I think my brother used to sing solos too, as a matter of fact. But at any rate, Stevie Wonder came to one of the New Year's Eve watch night services and he sang. And so now my brother could say, he sang back up for Stevie Wonder. And it was kind of cool. But my church was like that. You never knew who you might see. And it was intimate, but large at the same time, but still not a super church like they have nowadays. And it was, definitely family vibes. And my grandmother actually was one of the founding members of that particular church. And my mother got married. All of us were christened in it, not at that location because they built a new church. I was, my brothers were married there. I was married there. My niece and nephew were christened. My two of my three were christened there. And it's just definitely a family church. But at any rate, that's Stevie Wonder. So number 9, she said, I feel for you, then was willing to go through the fire before asking what you're going to do for me. Who is that R&B singer? She said, I feel for you, then was willing to go through the fire before asking what you're going to do for me. Who is that R&B singer? Yeah, Shaka Khan. You know what? Shaka Khan was my favorite R&B singer for a long time. And I still enjoy her. I love her, like her style, her swag. It's just, I'm trying to remember. It was her and Stephanie Mills. Do you remember when they did the what is it called? The Verses, I think it is. And I don't know what Shaka was doing. I was like, maybe it's the herbal tea. I don't know. But she was definitely acting a little different. And it was interesting. It didn't make me love her any less because I've seen her since and she's definitely, come back from it. I don't know why. Did y'all see that? Did you see that Slasher Chick when it was her or anyone that's in the live that's looking at this in the replay? Let me know in the comments. Did you see that versus with Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills? I almost think it was a mismatch anyway. Shaka Khan didn't need to do verses against anyone because she's too different, like dynamic and interesting to share the stage really with anyone else. I do know that there were some points when Stephanie had to actually finish her songs, and then it was just interesting. Yeah. Yeah, you need to look that one up because it was just interesting. That's all I can say. Sometimes when you don't know what to say, you just call it interesting. Like, okay. So the next statement, his songs, his songs With You and Everlasting Love made me want him to sing at my wedding. His songs "With You" and "Everlasting Love" made me want him to sing at my wedding. Who is that R&B singer? And this is the last one. His songs. Oh, y'all, I have to get ready to go to bed too because we have to leave. I mean, it's not even at the crack of dawn. It's at it's oh my goodness. Okay. His songs "With You" and "Everlasting Love" made me want him to sing at my wedding. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, Tony Terry. Oh my goodness, you got him. That's awesome. You know all these. Um I loved Tony Terry so much. His music, his songs. I thought they were so beautiful. And I wish I could remember the club that we had went to see him perform at when we were dating, my husband and I. We might have been engaged. I'm not sure. Let me think. It's hard for me to think that far back. But I know, I see. I see. And so when we saw him live, it was a very intimate club. And he was not considered an A-lister singer, but I knew that he could sing. And we were so close and personal with him. I told my husband, I was like, I bet you we could probably get him to perform for us. You know, maybe we must have been engaged. I said, probably, I bet you he would perform at our wedding. And I don't know why we never asked him, because back then you can go up to, again, because you right there, you can go up to artists and be like, I want to book you. And they would do it. They tell you what their price was. If it was good, you might negotiate, right? Slash a chick, you the negotiator, negotiate with them, and you could do it. Because there was a comedian, and she reminds me a lot of Lunel, and I promise you, if she was from California, I'd believe it was Lunel, because she reminded me so much of Lunel. Back, like just thinking about her from back then, and then knowing how Lunel is right now, and I'm like, I wonder if that was Lunel back in the day. But we saw her at a club, and I really liked her, and we would book her. So like my mother, I think it was her 50th birthday or something like that, and we had a nice dinner, and I had her come and do the entertainment, and she was a comedian for it, and we hired her for something else too, to perform. But we used to always do that with smaller artists, kind of doing their thing. And we never did ask Tony Terry. We did have a live band, and they did a phenomenal job, but I think it would have been even that much more impactful for him to come and sing, especially those two songs. So that's it, y'all, for Guess Who. And I had fun even, looking them up. These are not the top 10 best of the best artists, but they are definitely up there. Some of them are part of that top 10, top three tier group. But I just wanted to just shake some things up for this Friday night. There's so much information that I do want to share with you regarding workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, that I know you'll be able to implement right away. But I was trying to keep this live kind of light because I do have to get some rest. We're going to be traveling early, early, early tomorrow. And again, I appreciate your time for coming through. Listen, this is something that's not just about me, it's about you, it's about us, and it's all of us involved with this, the growth of this channel, if you have a channel, the growth of that, and just the support. And that's why I do want to give out content that you can implement, that you can walk away feeling like, you know what, I'm a little better because of that, or get a laugh, or hear something that you didn't know about, just something. I think a nugget or two is always important. But for the 500 of you that caught this live and/or are watching it on replay, you are appreciated. Remember, I always say this: practice so hard, practice every day. Don't go a day without practicing something that's going to make you better. So when you get in the game, when they call your name to take that last shot, you will take it and it will go in and you will win. I appreciate your time, and have a great rest of the evening. Slash your chick, if you haven't gone live yet, I'm gonna probably have to listen to it tomorrow because I really have to get go down. And again, everyone, I'll be back here at some point tomorrow. My aunt's services are tomorrow, and I'll be coming to you from another state. All right, take care.